Hey, sixth graders, Mrs. Zimmerman here. I've got another lesson on area. We're not done yet. Oh my goodness. So we've done parallelograms, we've done triangles. Today we're going to do trapezoids and kites. So we're doing two today, but they go together pretty well. So I think you'll see why we put them together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start with trapezoids. So I'm going to head to the front and we can get started. All right, so here we are. What is a trapezoid? Well, a trapezoid is a shape that has one set of parallel lines. So these two lines right here are parallel, right? They're never ever going to touch. And we call them B1 and B2. And the B stands for base. Okay, so there's one base and two bases. Then a trapezoid also has a set of lines that are not parallel, right? Those two will eventually meet each other up there at the top, okay? The measurements we need to figure this out, the area of a trapezoid, are gonna be the height, this right here, and we're gonna need base 1 and base 2. But what is a trapezoid, right? What do these shapes look like? So you know what you're looking at, what's gonna be coming towards you as we go through this section. Well, all of these here are trapezoids, okay? You can see like this first one here is a little bit more boxy, but think about this. Oops. Here's a set of parallel lines, but this line and this line are not parallel. So this is still a trapezoid. Even though there's a right angle here, these two lines are still going to touch. So that would be a trapezoid. These three on the bottom are all pretty similar. They've got a base on the top and bottom, and then two sides that come in. This one here, over here, we've got a base and a base right there. And these two lines are the ones that aren't parallel. And their height would be that distance there. So there's lots going on here. And let's think about what is the area actually going to be. So we've done formulas, right, for parallelogram, triangle. So I'm going to have a formula for trapezoid as well. Here it is. You're going to find the area. You're going to take the height times B1 plus B2, and then you're going to divide all of that by 2. Okay, no freaking out. Let me walk you through it step by step, okay? First example, find the area of the trapezoid. So I'm going to put my formula up here. And then we're going to put all that over 2. Okay. All we have to do is plug in the numbers, right? The height of my trapezoid over here, the green one, is 6 feet. So where the H is, I'm going to put 6. And then I'm going to times that by my base 1, which is 5, plus base 2, which is 9. And then we just put that all over 2. Does it matter what I use for base 1 and base 2? Like what if I did 9 plus 5, would I get the same thing? Yeah, I would, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We just follow order of operations. The first thing we're going to do is parentheses. What is 9 plus 5? 14. So now I just have 6 times 14 divided by 2. Again, I'm going to follow order of operations. I have to solve the top first. So what is 6 times 14? 84. And 84 divided by 2 is 42. So my area is going to be 42 feet squared. We still have to have a label and we still have to square it. So now I've got 42 feet squared. And that's it. We just do order of operations. So it's really not scary at all. Let's do another one. Area equals height times B1 plus B2 divided by 2. Okay, here's my trapezoid. It's a little bit different looking trapezoid, but still a trapezoid. So I've got my height right here and my base and my base. So let's plug it in. We're going to have area equals 5 times 8.5 plus 11.5, and then we divide that by 2. We're going to follow order of operations. 8.5 plus 11.5 is 20. So I'm going to have 5 times 20 divided by 2. And 5 times 20, we know that's 100, right? And 100 divided by 2 is 50 meters squared. That's the area. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 of those. That's pretty easy. I think you can handle that. Let's move on to the next thing, which is finding the missing dimension. So we're going to keep doing this exact same thing with trapezoids. So area equals height times B1 plus B2 divided by 2. Plug in the numbers. Let's come over here to the blue trapezoid. My area is 180. Okay, my base is 4 and 14, and my directions say to find the height. So that red line right there is what we're going to try and find. So let's plug in the numbers. My area is 180. I don't know the height, so I'm going to keep that, times 4 plus 14 over 2. Okay? First thing I'm going to do is, again, my parentheses. 4 plus 14 is 18. So I'm going to do 180 equals h times 18 over 2. Oh, can you, here, let me move that down. There we go. Okay, so how do we find h? This is just a 2-step equation, right? It's going to take us 2 steps to solve this. We got to get h all by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the fraction. The opposite of divide by 2 is times by 2. We're going to do that on both sides. Okay? My 2's cancel, and I have h times 18 left. Equals 180 times 2 is 360. And now I have h times 18 right here, which is multiply, and the opposite of multiply is 2, divide by 18. So I have to do that to both sides. My 18's cancel. All I have left is h equals 360 divided by 18. Put that in your calculator if you need to, is 20 kilometers. And this is not squared, right? This is just the height. So we leave it just like this. Okay. Let's do another one. Area equals my height times B1 plus B2 divided by 2. Okay. Height times B1 plus B2. Plug in your numbers. Okay, my area is 600. I don't know what my height is, times my bases, which are 25 and 23. So I'm going to do 25 plus 23. Divide that by 2. Follow order of operations. What is 25 plus 23? 48. So I'm going to do 600 equals h times 48 divided by 2. Okay, here we go. 2-step equation. First thing I'm going to do, get rid of my fraction. Times by 2 on both sides. 2's cancel. So now I've got h times 48 equals 600 times 2. Well, 6 times 2 is 12, and tack on the zeros. 1200. Okay? Now we have to get the h all by itself. So we're going to do the opposite, which is divide. Divide by 48 on both sides. So my height is 1200 divided by 48 would be 25 yards. And that's the answer, right? Okay, now you know how to do trapezoids. Look at this. You're learning all kinds of great stuff. Okay, let's move on to kites. Ooh, kites. Okay, this is a kite. All right, you've got these two sides that are the same length. Okay, and you've got these two sides that are the same length. That's the definition of a kite. You've got two pairs of lines that are touching here and here, and they are the same length. So, what is a kite? And how do we find the area of a kite? Okay, so there are two ways to find the area of the kite. Okay, the first one is to break the kite apart into two parts. Because here's one triangle, and here's another triangle. So what could you do? You could find this area and this area and add them together, right? Area plus area equals area of the whole kite. That's one way to do it. Then there are also these dotted lines here, these. Okay, and those are called diagonals. So another way to find the area is to take diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 and then divide by 2. That's another way to do it. Either one of these will give you the same answer. Personally, I like this. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, because you just have to deal with one area. You don't have to add anything together. Just do the math and that's your answer. But so I'm going to follow this. This is what I'm going to use. But if you're following along with me and you're like, yeah, I don't get that at all, then great. Just go back to triangles. Find two separate triangle areas, 1 and 2, and then add them together. Okay? So let's look at area. All right? I'm going to do the diagonals. Okay? So area equals diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, and we divide by 2. Okay, we just have to fill in those numbers. So my diagonal 1, it doesn't matter which one you use, right? But I'm going to use this one. Oh, I shouldn't use red. Hold on. Let's do green right here. Okay, what is this distance? Here to here is 5, and here to here is 5. So what's 5 plus 5? 10 times my other diagonal is right here. This distance is 7. This distance is 4. What's 7 plus 4? 11. And then we divide by 2. So 10 times 11 is 110. 110 divided by 2 is 55. So my area of the kite is 55 meters squared. And that's how you do a kite. Okay, hopefully I didn't do that too fast. Let's do another one. Okay, so we have diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. All right, diagonal 1, it doesn't matter what I pick, so I'm going to do this right here. I've got 3 centimeters plus 3 centimeters. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus this diagonal is 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is 7, and we're going to divide by 2. 6 plus 7 is 13, and then we just divide that by 2. So we take 13 divided by 2, which is 6.5 centimeters squared. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 examples of these also because they're pretty straightforward, right? You find the diagonals, multiply them, and divide by 2. Okay, so now we're going to do some composite figures with trapezoids and kites. We're going to combine them. So let's take a look. Okay, we have to find the area of this figure. What is this figure? Well, here we go. I have a rectangle. And I also have a trapezoid. Everyone see that? Okay, so here we go. Let's do the rectangle first, because that we know is area equals base times height. Okay, the base of my rectangle is 4 times the height, which is 6. What is 4 times 6? 24. Okay, so 24 inches squared is the rectangle. And now we have to do the trapezoid, which I just taught you. So we're going to do height times B1 plus B2 divided by 2. And we plug in the numbers. So what's the height? We're talking about this distance right here, the height of my trapezoid. Well, I'm going to have to do some math here because look, this comes straight out to here, okay? So I know this whole distance is 8, but I also see that this right here is, how long? This is 6. So if the whole thing is 8, this bit is 6, what is this? 8 minus 6 is 2. So my height is 2 times base 8 plus this base here, which is the same as that measurement, 4. So we're going to do 8 plus 4 divided by 2. And we do our math. 8 plus 4, 12 times 2 divided by 2. So 2 times 12 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12 inches squared. So now I have my rectangle, which is 24, plus my trapezoid, which is 12. Add those together, and we are going to get 36 inches squared for the area of the whole entire shape. Okay? It's just combining. It's the same thing. I'm just going to do one and keep it short and easy for you. I don't think I have, nope, that's for tomorrow. So that's all I've got. We're going to now combine parallelograms, triangles, trapezoids, and kites. Oh my gosh, you're learning so much. Now, you will need to learn these. You'll have to know these formulas, okay? When we take a quiz and our test over this, you're going to have to memorize these formulas because you're going to be using them for a long time, okay? So I know you can do it. It's just going to take some practice. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.